welcome back to Morning Thailand. Yesterday, I believe that Kun Govan and Kun Tulip has already reported about the incident where a Chinese woman was electrocuted to death.
Right.
She's a cabin crew of one airline, even though it's not in Thailand. But it seems that it's really related to people here because
well, we have the incident before when iPhones or the smartphone exploded, and that's why we have to look into this. And I think it's a good piece of news to actually have a little bit more knowledge on this because it's deadly.
And it seems that more reports coming in because earlier it seems that she was using the iPhone 5 model, right? But investigation revealed, and this is from the South China Morning Post reporting that this woman actually used the iPhone 4 model, and it seems that the charger might not be the genuine from Apple. However, her family claimed that she bought the real iPhone and also the genuine appliances from the Apple store. So we don't know yet who would be responsible for this incident, but Apple said they will look into this matter. The victim, the 23-year-old Ma Ai Lun, it seems that she had been using what appeared to be an unauthorized iPhone 4 charger according to the CCTV.
Which is like another channel for...
So that would be confusion. What could be an unauthorized?
Well,
the fake
ones. The thing is, she used iPhone 5, but the charger was a fake iPhone 4. So I'm not sure whether or not you can actually do that to use different models of the chargers. But that's what has been reported in the, I think, South
China Morning Post.
Exactly. And the thing is, I think her parents said that upon the time of her picking up the phone, she just came out of the bathroom and the phone was still charging. So Apple did said that it might have been due to the fact that you're not supposed to have your phone charged in the bathroom. Obviously is hazard to actually do something like that because it's close to water, and that would bring the electricity into your body even faster. And a household electricity would be about 220 volts.
Right.
So that was quite a lot.
So that means the charger is a fake one.
Well, that's what they claim. That's the thing, like, because in newspapers right here in Thailand, in a lot of front pages, we didn't actually get that far. However, when our crew look into this particular case, and we have found that according to the Chinese newspaper itself, and this just like about at 6 a.m. of the 17th or the 16th, so that means it's the latest one. Anyhow, this is what they say. They say that they claim that the chargers that they found somehow is turned out to be something fake. But her family was still saying that it's actually not a fake one. So we're not sure what's going on. Obviously, this is not an investigation right here in Thailand.
So there's differences between iPhone 4 and iPhone 5 because the old model, the iPhone 4, were made from stainless steel, while the iPhone 5 is made from aluminum.
Oh, so maybe that could be the bringing in the electricity into the body.
And when you use the charger, it will transfer the electricity from 220 volts to just 5 volts. So sometimes if the product wasn't good enough or it's a knockoff,
right,
it couldn't work properly.
So because the phone itself would not be able to electrocute you, really, due to the fact that obviously it doesn't have that much electricity in it. But if you still have it plugged in with the charger and use it, and your body is obviously covered in water or so on and so forth, that could create a problem as well. So I would say, even though we don't know what's going on, the first thing we know is do not use the phone while it's in the charger, while it's plugged in. I know I said that, but I do that all the time as well. I'm guilty of that. I'm sorry. And plus, do not have contact with water, obviously, because that's not the thing that you want to do when you deal with electricity.
There's a possibility that this charger were not made for use in Hong Kong, China, or Taiwan, because there's a difference in the voltage, the output in particular country.
Problem, isn't it? Yeah, because she's a flight attendant too, so obviously she flies in and out
a
a lot.
lot.
So she has to change it several times. So it's one of those cases that it was a good example for a lot of people, but obviously not for the family, and it's something that should be avoided. So let's hope that no repetition of these kind of cases ever happen again. But obviously Apple going to have to answer a lot of questions, and I think investigation is good, right? Now let's move on to another investigation. I have been reported quite a bit about the foreign gangs that seems to be having a good time right here in Thailand.
Another scam.
Exactly, doing a lot of scam, a lot of fraud, and at this point, a lot of assault as well. So the DSI finally will look into it, because along with the tourism department or ministry, Kun Somsak Puri Sisak, the minister of tourism and sports, has came out and said that there would be a little bit more investigation into this particular type of case in terms of a mafia gangs, a foreign mafia gangs that's situated right here in Thailand, especially in Phuket and Pattaya. Because last week I just reported
destination.
Exactly. I just reported last week there has been like a broad daylight abduction of foreigners who was abducted by a Russian gang and was assaulted and of course taken money, so on and so forth. So at this point, finally something will be done. So the expat out there, feel a little bit better, because we are trying to look into this. We're not putting a blind eye here. They say that at this point there has been quite a bit of cases that has been ongoing, especially in Phuket and Pattaya, because a lot of embassies has been reported cases of foreign gangs that have been trying to threaten as well as assault all these tourists that visiting the area. Some actually even drove the car to cut off some of the tourist cars, or using knives to knock on the door and asking the tourists to come down. And this is not even a local gang, these are foreigners. And they say that at this point there's a lot of Russian mafia that actually has been situated right here in Thailand. And they say that they are trying to look into this, make sure that they call it, actually, interestingly enough, they call it Tour Soon Rien, or $0 tour.
Which means
that they have a nominee, a Thai nominee, to be an owner of this particular situation, taking all these tourists coming in, charter them in to Thailand, using all this, taxi that's not, we call it black license plate taxi, or the taxi that obviously not supposed to be called a taxi, but still. And obviously taking them to several hotels, several places, is almost like bringing in money for this particular, to Thailand, but the money is not circling around Thai people. It just goes straight to the mafia gang that has been asking Thai nominee to actually become an owner of this particular tour. Now they say that at this point there will be a strong coordination between Phuket province as well as other departments to actually work into this. And at this point, the DSI has already taken in this case as a special case, so we can rest assured that at least we will see a little bit more of a case ongoing to make sure that this is eliminated. They say that in Phuket alone, there's over 1,000 companies that believed to be belongs to the foreign mafia gangs, but has Thai nominee as the owner. So
obviously, it's quite depressing here, because a lot of Thai people had given their help in running this black business.
Exactly, and
and thinking they would get money.
Exactly, and oftentimes if you deal with criminals, you gotta be very careful, because there's no truth or promises that will be kept within the criminal circulation. So at this point, DSI will look into this, and hopefully we're
Good
not
thing.
going to have mafia right here in Thailand.
As I often say, someone got to do something with Thailand right
Yes,
now.
please.
And also with this case as well, last week police in Mae Hong Son province had arrested 2 men. One is a policeman and another is only a layman.
Right.
Not a police officer. And they confiscated a lot of weapons and ammunition, and the ammunition had been hidden in a house in Mae Hong Son province, but further investigation revealed that those lot of ammunition belong to the ordnance division under the Royal Thai Police in Bangkok.
That's
So
not
it
good
seemed
either.
there's something fishy going on. So Police General Adun Sang Sing Kao, he's the National Police Chief, has ordered the Director of the Ordnance Division, Kun Sompong Nacharan, the Police Major General Sompong Nacharan, to be transferred to an inactive post at the Royal Thai Police Operation Unit until the probe is properly conducted and concluded. Because it seems that the weapons had been still or brought under officers' approval.
Okay, so well, the thing is, if you are able to have this much arms, I mean, in terms of like all these weapons and stuff, and nothing actually, like your superior did not know about it, obviously it might be whatchamacallit, cooperation between the two. It's suspicious. So I think it's a good thing that at least something has been done.
And how come a lot of weapons that gone from Bangkok to Mae Hong Son is quite a long way? They've gone through a lot of checkpoints.
Well, that's the thing, because you use your post, right? And if your subordinates do such things and you as a boss did not realize it, then that's mean maybe you did not do a good enough job on keeping track of your subordinates.
And
so
you get to show responsibility.
Exactly. So another incident, just give you updates here. Of course, we have been reporting about the missing businessman who is now pronounced dead, even though we haven't found his body yet, unfortunately. And this is, I'm talking about the Rong Glua market businessman, or Sia Uon Rong Glua, or his name is Chai Chana Mai Ngan. Now, of course, at this point, the family is still begging and pleading for the body, but obviously at this point, the culprits that's supposed to be in this particular teams that creating this whole thing is Kun Pansak Mongkon Sin, which is has been involved in other cases before,
So they can
and was
arrested
arrested
him.
before, and obviously got arrested again in pretty much the same case in terms of trying to kill or murder, so on and so forth. And Kun Noi Kayandi, the village chief, that has been arrested as well, claiming that he was the one that driven Kun Chai Chana's car into the meeting point. But he claimed that he wasn't there to kill him, or he didn't know where else they took Kun Chai Chana. But that's according to his alibi. Now they're looking for another culprit, Kun Suriya Sinpru, or they call it Ayya, which is quite funny to me. Anyways, it sounded like one of those spur that you say that when you say wow or something like that. Now anyway, Kun Suriya, obviously right now the police is trying to find him, and they say that Kun Suriya supposedly has already fled to Cambodia to actually obviously try to flee the scene here because he doesn't want to be inside the country, and that's understandable because right now they know who they are. However, at this point, the police has already asked the Cambodian police to look into this, and they have sent in Kun Suriya's picture already. So hopefully we will be able to see about this particular person soon, and then maybe we'll hear a little bit more about it. However, at this point, like I said, they are trying to find Kun Chai Chana body still, but it seems like there's not enough evidence, or these people do not open their mouth in terms of where did they take him and what happened to his body.
I wonder, is it a double standard here? We call this man Aya, while in other case, like the case of Kun Ekayut Anchanbut, we just call him Bon and Bon.
Yeah, I know, but you know,
Why
I'm not
newspaper always use these words
right,
for
'cause
criminals?
I, by the way, is not a very good word to call another person.
It's like young lad.
Yeah, it is almost like a slang for something that's not good. However, maybe it's the sound of it. I bet it's the sound of it. It's like, ayya, like that. I think that's, I don't know, in my opinion. But yeah, you're right. Like, it just shows differentiation between the two cases. But once again, you know, hopefully we'll get to see him, and I really hope, I'm praying for this family, because the thing is, you know, I could understand you, even though you know that the person passed away, you're not at peace until you finally would be able to do some kind of, you know, religious ritual for the family. Right.
So taking a break for now. Up next, we got a lot more on the scandalous monk here.
The former monk.
Former scandalous monk, the
Yes.
very famous monk in Thailand, and coming on. So more investigation into the rice package brand in Bangkok here. Stay tuned.